Upset over a divorce or breakup? Let me tell you how I dealt with all mine, because it starts with you, fixing you, which is your foundation. Let's go. So to start explaining my perspective on how I dealt with breakups, and I also think it would help you, is we have to first understand that physical and mental health are very related. Okay, so the more you exercise, basically, the more you move, the better you will feel. Now, for some, they love going to the gym. Not my thing. I'd rather walk or bike, okay? But if you'd rather run, swim, climb a tree, go running, whatever, that's up to you. Any physical exercise will help your mental mood. When you exercise, we release endorphins. The easiest way to understand them is it's basically a chemical that releases into your body that takes down the level of stress, okay? It doesn't take away your sadness. It just reduces the perception of it. Okay, it allows you to deal with it easier. Okay, the more you commit to moving around, the better you will feel. Now, if you're looking at this screen and saying, this guy's freaking nuts, I can't get over it. Yes, you can, I promise you. I've been there way too many times, and I trained myself to not go, that low anymore. Because everything will get better in time if you want it to. Okay, remember, nothing I say, nothing anyone really says is going to fix this. It's you. You need to build up yourself to fix you. I promise you. That is the #1 step, and that's what we're getting into. So let's go practice what I preach and get the hell out of here. We're gonna go for a walk. Personally, I'd much rather be walking than sitting around watching TV or laying in bed, but don't get me wrong, I have definitely done that, and that's definitely part of all breakups because you feel so freaking shitty. But doing that for a long period of time is only gonna hurt you because it leaves you too alone in your own thoughts. And for the most of us, when we are sitting in our own thoughts for too long, it usually gets negative because in a sense, it's easier to be negative, right? Because I choose to be happy every day. Definitely not easy. So getting out and walking is huge for me. Now, a major thing that I've done is I listen to music when I walk, and I listen to sad music. This is when I was really bummed out and dealing with a breakup. And I'd actually listen to music that reminded me of my partner. And the reason being is because I want to let out my emotion. Crying is okay because crying lets a little bit out. It lets a little bit of pain out, and singing to myself and just crying and talking to myself and screaming internally on top of the exercise just makes a big difference. Now, while walking, I've also trained myself to only let out a little bit of my pain. So I'll actually try to think about things that remind me of my ex or certain times, and I try to deal with it little by little. Some people totally avoid it and just move on, and that's not good either because you're not only hurting yourself, you're gonna hurt others in future relationships. So if everybody would spend a little bit more time fixing themselves, we'd be way better off. But we can only focus on us, and you can only focus on people that want help. Because remember, just like you, the only person that can fix others is truly themselves. Now remember, your environment and your surroundings will make a huge difference on your mood. So if you feel at peace or serenity, and I'm looking at this beautiful water, it will right away make you feel better. Now you might not have access to water, but there are beautiful parks everywhere. Go discover the green, because the more serenity you feel, the more that will get into your brain. The more that gets into your brain gets into your subconscious and gives you a more positive perspective. If you've heard of manifestation, that's a huge thing to help as well. In its simplest terms, manifestation basically means to put out something in the universe. So if you want something to happen, like I want to feel better, you keep putting that out, okay? Because the more you say it, the more it gets into your subconscious. On top of manifestation, repetition of good is a big helpful tool, okay? So if your insecurity is that you're not good enough, I want you to sit in front of a mirror or sit and talk to yourself, whatever it takes, and keep telling yourself that you are good enough. Being able to get into a positive mindset sometimes requires repetition. Yes, repetition. It could be as easy as sitting in front of a mirror and telling yourself you're good enough. Whatever your insecurity is, deal with it and tell yourself the opposite. Because what happens is, it not only registers in your conscious, it goes into your subconscious, okay? Your subconscious is when you actually start believing it. It's when you do things without even thinking. You just subconsciously know that you'll be okay, for example. So repeating yourself and telling yourself over and over and over and over again will truly help. Now, remember, with the exercise, you can get those endorphins as well, because when it comes down to it, you and only you are really the only person that can help yourself, to be very honest. Because no matter what anyone says, you need to do the work. Now, if you're stuck in the negative and the repetition's not working, go out and talk to someone. If you have coverage, a therapist, I'm always for a therapist. If you don't have the money or you don't have coverage, talk to friends, family members. Just be careful. I've done it all. You will get a lot of different perspectives, and certain people just won't care and unfortunately might make you feel worse. And don't forget to cry. It's okay to cry, even if it's internally, okay? I'm kind of a crybaby, but it makes me feel better because it releases that energy. Same thing with singing, because it makes me feel good. And that's where it has to start. And remember, if you feel really, really bad or really depressed, go talk to someone. Go talk to a therapist. I am not a doctor and I'm not opposed to pills, but I'd never suggest it. But what I'm saying is, in certain cases, we need them. Okay, there's true depression that people have fought through their whole lives, and there's also situational depression. So going through a breakup can really put you in a temporary depression, and there's nothing wrong with getting pills if you need that. All I'm looking for is to fix you. And when you start prioritizing yourself, that's the beginning. Because remember, without you being okay, no one around you, especially someone you're caring for, will not be okay. Now remember, everything starts with you, okay? If you don't fix yourself, you don't have a proper foundation. And if you don't fix your current issues, you're gonna take them into another relationship, which then is going to repeat history. And that is the last thing that I wanna do. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one to talk, I don't judge. I've just learned so much through all my heartaches and all my experiences. And I wanna pass that all to you because you guys are all worth it. There's always good. And it's sometimes harder to be happy than miserable. I get that. But doesn't smiling feel better? You got this, I promise you. Keep moving forward. I believe in all of you. Thank you guys.